Today I'm going to be going over trombone slide maintenance. Here's a couple things you're going to need. Everybody should have a paper towel or maybe two, your trombone slide cream or slide lubricant, and your polishing cloth. So make sure you have all that stuff out and ready. Follow along with my steps. Make sure you watch me do it first, and then you can do it onto your trombone. And as always, be super, super careful with the slide. All right, first things first. We got to make sure that there's enough floor space between you and the trombone case. Now we're going to go ahead and unlock our slide very carefully with your right hand. Grab both of those slide braces, just like this. I'm going to gently pull it out and place it in between my feet. Now, from here, we're going to have to double check and make sure that this slide lock is unlocked. I know we talked a lot about it in class being locked, but now we're actually going to unlock it so that we can take apart our slide. From here, we're going to make sure that it's sitting in between our feet. We have the tendon closest to us. That's going to be super, super important for when we are going to put it back together. Make sure everything's facing the right way. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and stand up, and I'm going to carefully lift this top part of the slide very slowly all the way until that slide comes out. Awesome. From here, I'm going to set it right next to the outside slide. So now I have both. From here, I'm going to gently lay them down on the ground. This is why we needed that extra space. Being super careful with my slide. Awesome. Now, the one that we're going to be working with today is the inner slide, which is this silver one. So carefully grab that, make sure it doesn't hit anything. We're going to lay it on our lap like this. And we're going to go ahead and get our napkin, and we're going to wipe off this silver part. Starting at the top, put a little bit of pressure as you wipe all the way down. We're going to get all this gunk off of our inner slide, so it's all nice and clean before we put some new cream on it. So you might need to do it a couple different times. Make sure all the cream is off. Like I said, putting just a little bit of pressure so that you can get everything off. Cool. Now, if we're looking at the bottom of this slide, you'll see on yours, you may not see it on mine so much, but there's a little ridge on the bottom of both of this inner slide. From here all the way to the bottom, so this much on both of them, this is called the stocking. This is going to be super important for when we get our cream. So this little ridge all the way to the end of the slide is called the stocking. Make sure that after you're wiping it down, you always, always, always have a hand on the slide. Anytime we're picking up the napkin, setting it down, you always want to make sure that something's holding on, because the last thing you want is for the slide to fall on the ground and it gets a dent, and then your mom or dad's going to have to pay to get it fixed. So as always, being super, super careful, make sure we're always holding on to it. Now, remember how I was talking about the bottom part of the slide on both sides of this inner slide? Those are called the stockings. This is the only place on the inner slide where we're going to put our cream. So go ahead and grab your cream. If you have one like this, carefully open it up, set the lid on the ground. If you have the little tube bottle, it might have a cap, pop off that cap and just have it ready. So I have my cream here. I'm going to use my finger and carefully rub some on both of the stockings. Make sure you get some on the top, on the bottom, just like this. Not too much, just enough to cover it all. We're going to set down our slide cream. If you have the little tube, just take it and squeeze just a little bit on both. And then you're going to take your fingers and we're going to rub it in, just like this, on both of the stockings all the way around. Making sure we're getting the inside of that slide, on the bottom of it. We want to make sure that it's all covered, just like this. Now that we've rubbed in our slide cream, you have cream all over your fingers. That's where we use this napkin, same one we used earlier. Make sure you get it all off of your fingers. Don't touch your clothes. We don't want to ruin any clothes. All right? Awesome. Now, we're going to put the slide back together. Watch me carefully. I'm going to grab my right hand with this inner slide, and I'm going to line it up just like this, straight up and down. Now with my left hand, I'm going to grab that outer slide, lift it up so that they're both even like this. between my feet. Now, the inner slide, the silver one, we got to make sure that that tendon is closest to us. That's this long part right up here. It needs to be closest to us. On the outer slide, look at the bottom. You'll see the water key. That needs to be closest to you. That's how you know that it's all lined up. So now that I've got it lined up, I'm going to go ahead and stand up. Watch me first. I'm going to line up my inner slide. Just like this. Now I'm going to slowly, carefully insert it back in. As I'm going down, I'm going to make small up and down motions all the way until I get to the bottom. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Cool. I'm going to get all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to pull it back up. Now I'm going to do it again. Small little up and down motions. Don't take it all the way out. Just pull it up towards the top. This is so we can get the cream all on the inside of that slide. Awesome. Once we get it all the way down the second time, that's probably good enough. Now it's super important. We have to lock our slide. So right here on our lock, push it all the way over so that it's locked. Now, the slide, even if we wanted it to, won't fall out of place. From here, we're going to go ahead and put our slide back into its case. So carefully stop her first, lay it on down, go ahead and lock it so we don't forget. Once you put your slide away, we're going to go ahead and get our trombone cream, put that lid back on, or if you have the little tube bottle, put the cap on, and we're going to always leave our trombone cream in the case so we don't lose it for next time when we need to do maintenance. Awesome, now let's talk about the polishing cloth a little bit. You can go ahead and grab it out and set it on your knee. I'm going to put it on my right knee. This is going to be for the outside of the trombone. So let's go ahead and grab our bell side out. Set it on your left knee, just like we do when we put it together. Grab that polishing cloth. We're just going to be wiping down the outsides of it. This is to get all the dirt off, all the fingerprints, right? Because your fingers have oil, and we don't want that oil to be on our brass. So we got to clean it off. You can do all on the top part up here. Just wiping everything down, get your braces. You can also wipe down the outer part of the slide. Just be super, super careful, right? The slide is very delicate and we do not want to drop it. So once you have it all wiped down, then we can go ahead and return our bell side to the case, just like this. And then that polishing cloth also needs to stay in our case. I'm gonna fold mine up just a little bit like this. And that's how we do slide maintenance.